closure I think we were all wanting and needing.
Was sentenced today for shooting and killing this man while driving on I-70 nearly 2 years ago. Jamil James got 22 years in prison for the death of Kevin Piaskowski.
It was close to the max, 25 years. Piaskowski's family told 9 News reporter Brianna Clark they are grateful this is over.
But it says you can't appreciate happiness without experiencing sadness, pleasure without pain, order and routine without chaos.
Words that mean more today
Flows both on our own and together
than when they were written 2 years ago.
Did he write Tam Tam? Yeah, I mean, he had so many nicknames for me, so.
Fiance was one of them.
Yeah.
Tamara Holton planned to spend the rest of her life with Kevin Piaskowski until July 31st, 2022.
And I would give anything to have Kevin back.
She's had to learn to live without him.
Just want to tap out. And I felt like today was like the first time I felt like I could just be like a normal human.
Tamara was there when Kevin's killer was sentenced to 22 years in prison.
Yeah, I think we were all terrified and holding our breaths, and there were a lot of emotions just built up in that courtroom. And when we heard 22 years, it was just like a huge weight off our chest and relief.
Jamil James shot and killed Kevin while driving down I-70. The moment was captured on dash cam video.
I won't bring myself to watch it. Okay. I've heard it, but I can't bring myself to watch my fiance get murdered.
Everything since that moment has been painful.
My mom hugged me today and said, like, just so proud of you for being so strong. And I think in my mind, I'm like, I'm done being strong.
Now, with Kevin's words,
and I just thought,
she can move forward.
This has been the lowest of lows. So much chaos. Like, I think his family and I are just ready to experience life without all of this trauma around it.
Tamara tells me she's glad to finally see all of this come to an end 19 months later. She's now hoping to keep Kevin's legacy alive by visiting the places that they were planning to go together and spreading his ashes along the way.
Brianna, one of the concerns from the family was that this suspect could end up being tried as a juvenile offender.
Yeah, that's exactly why they decided to agree to a plea deal back in September, making sure that he would then be sentenced as an adult.
22 years. Brianna Clark, thank you.
We're about an hour into spring. Did you feel it?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I felt it, yeah. We officially left winter at 9:06 p.m.
You could feel the springing. You could feel when it was sprung, Chris Bianchi.
You could hear Chris screaming.
Yeah, about
jumping
some
up and down.
Vernal equinox thing. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I was screaming because the Nuggets won, but that
okay.
Oh, well, that too. Okay.
And CSU won and the Avs won. That's a separate story. But we started off spring officially 57 minutes ago at 9:06 p.m. tonight. Of course, that meant that the sun's rays were directly over the equator, which means that everybody from the North Pole down to the South Pole, 12 hours of equal sunlight for today. And it means that we'll continue to see those sun's rays continue to lift north until they get to the Tropic of Cancer, which means that is the start of summer. That's a separate story. Meantime, mild and dry through Saturday feels spring-like, and it certainly felt spring-like today with a high in the low to mid-60s for us in the Denver area, a few 70s on the eastern plains. Quiet on A-sheet operator right now. We did have a few snow showers earlier on, but we'll get some more winter-like feel as we get later on into the weekend. Into the weekend, I'll have details on what we can expect with our next storm coming up in my full forecast.
Thanks, Chris. A truck driver is now on trial, accused of killing a family of 5 on I-25 in Weld County. Jesus Puebla is charged with 5 counts of vehicular homicide after his truck slammed into a stopped car at 70 miles an hour in June of 2022. Today, lawyers representing the driver argued that the trucking company supplied Puebla with a faulty truck. They say it was retrofitted with brakes that didn't work. Desiree and Stephen Everts lost their daughter, granddaughter, son-in-law, and in-laws. Today, they sat in court for the first time, coming face to face with the truck driver accused of killing their family.
He didn't just kill those 5 people that day, he killed all of our families. We struggle on a daily, and nothing will ever be the same again.
Puebla's attorneys say that if anyone should be held responsible, it's the trucking company who put him in that truck. Prosecutors say the driver caused the crash and should be punished. The trial will pick up again tomorrow.
Aurora's interim police chief says her officers followed their policies in a chase that led to a crash and a man's death. Police say the chase started with an armed carjacking Sunday evening. Police say an officer saw the stolen Jeep minutes later, tried to stop it. Driver took off. Chase only lasted about 4 blocks until the Jeep crashed into 4 parked cars. It killed a man who was inside one of the vehicles, Oliver Jose Gongora Zeledon. Interim Aurora Police Chief Heather Morris says they will typically only chase when the situation involves a violent crime.
I could give a bunch of examples, but essentially, maybe somebody did commit a violent crime, but maybe it's been several weeks. So that's going to be taken into consideration as well, is the time distance from whenever the incident happened. Or even a stolen vehicle. If this was a stolen vehicle that had not just occurred, then that may be a different evaluation.
A critical incident team, officers from multiple agencies, is now investigating that incident.
Today, loved ones said their final goodbyes to Alex Mankiewicz, the 7th grader who was killed on his way to school in Highlands Ranch earlier this month. A motorcycle procession escorted Alex to Fairmount Cemetery, where he's laid to rest. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office arrested the driver who hit and killed him, accused of hitting and killing him. Deputies say Alex was on a crosswalk, riding a one-wheel, when Ruben Moranos ran a red light and hit him.
Testimony is going late into the night tonight at the state capitol for Democrats' most controversial gun bill of the year. About 600 people have signed up to testify for and against a ban on so-called assault weapons. The bill from Denver Democrats Tim Hernandez and Elizabeth Epps defines an assault weapon as a .50 caliber rifle or a semi-automatic with a detachable magazine and modification like a pistol grip or muzzle brake. There are exceptions to allow members of the military and law enforcement to have those weapons. A similar bill died in committee last year. The bill is likely to pass out of committee this year because 5 Democrats there are co-sponsors. It's likely to go to the full House. Democrats have a huge edge there in votes. It's not clear if it could pass the Senate, and Democratic Governor Jared Polis has expressed skepticism about an assault weapons ban. Despite abortion restrictions in many states these days, the U.S. reported more than 1 million abortions last year, highest number in over a decade.
9 News reporter Rachel Krause breaks down what's led to the increase and why advocates worry more limitations could be coming.
No exceptions, no restrictions, no discrimination.
The Dobbs decision to overturn the right to abortion care has kept advocates busy, like Laura Chapin with Cobalt Abortion Fund.
We've seen an increase overall. We've certainly seen, an increase in people seeking medication abortion the same way you have everywhere else.
A new report from the Guttmacher Institute found since Roe was overturned, demand for abortions are on the rise nationwide. The report counts more than 1 million abortions in the U.S. in 2023. That's a 10% increase from 2020. And the highest number of abortions in the U.S. in more than a decade.
It's not really surprising, but it confirms a lot of what we suspected would happen. I mean, people are going to seek health care. What these abortion bans have done is simply shifted the landscape and the geography.
Chapin says abortion medications like mifepristone is allowing more pregnant people to access care, while state bans or limitations on the procedure are preventing access for some women. Chapin says many more are finding other ways around.
It has shifted the landscape. It has not shifted how many people are seeking abortion care or their willingness to go seek it out. Colorado has very much become a haven state for a lot of people around the country and around the region.
Chapin says they're seeing large numbers of out-of-state women reaching out for help, many of them from Texas.
It has been amazing how many people have stepped up. I know that providers here are, expanding their capacity.
Now, the future of mifepristone, an FDA-approved abortion drug, is in question. A legal challenge before the Supreme Court will determine if that medication can be used, even in states like Colorado where abortion is legal. Chapin says advocates nationwide are watching closely to see if the top court in the nation will once again restrict abortion care.
And what we've seen with the Guttmacher report is that access and that availability absolutely must remain in place for people to get the health care they need.
The Supreme Court will hear oral arguments on access for the abortion medication mifepristone next Tuesday. Research has long found that medication abortion is both safe and effective.
But these arguments will be watched closely.
Yeah.
To hear both sides. All right. Thank you, Rachel.
Today, patient advocates pleaded with the largest healthcare provider in Colorado to stop suing its patients. UC Health sues thousands of patients every year. A group of people, largely tied to the nonprofit Center for Health Progress, came to the Anschutz Medical Campus this afternoon to tell the head of UC Health to stop this practice of suing patients for unpaid medical debt. This follows an investigation by 9 News and the Colorado Sun that found that UC Health had sued more than 15,000 patients in 5 years. The message was delivered today during a board meeting that included top University of Colorado hospital leaders.
The public's eyes are on you, and you have a choice to make between fulfilling your mission of improving lives or continuing to destroy the lives of the Coloradans you sue.
The group then held a rally outside the hospital. They want UC Health to not only stop suing its patients in the future, but to drop all ongoing lawsuits. Our investigation found that UC Health remains one of the most active litigators in the state of Colorado. The head of UC Health and her chief legal officer referred the concerned folks today to an earlier statement that reads in part that lawsuits against patients are, quote, a course of last resort. Neither would commit to changing anything about the way they handle litigation.